Apparently, somebody snitched on us.
It's just ridiculous. Like, clearly they're not supposed to be in there. Like,
yeah, no, you should totally get that rain. Any vehicles or anything, do you know?
I don't know. I like saw them walking in there.
The cop just left?
Whoa.
Yeah, wow. This is how much they care about our voice, James.
Was the woman on the other end of that the woman who called? They called the cops on themselves. Wankers for America. I introduced you to a wanker. This guy right here. He's the dude who is all over InfoWars. Alex Jones loves him. A lot of Americans love him. A lot of big pundits in America right now are saying that he's a Canadian hero. He's the guy who's basically like, I want to walk in the forest. And then the province was like, you can't walk in the forest, sir. You see, the problem is that there's all these forest fires. So we just basically need to restrict people from entering these areas. It's not that we think you personally are going to start fires. It's that people are starting fires. So you probably are going to have to follow the fire. Forest ban. And so most people, I know, that with decency would be like, yeah, I mean, that seems reasonable. There are millions of people in the country. Forest fires are really devastating and deadly, so maybe we should just in some way try and restrict the amount of human activity that takes place in an area where it could start forest fires. But he took it upon himself to be like, I'm not fucking following your rules. I'm an armor vet and I live right beside the border of the forest. I'm going inside. So Canada Man, or Canada Bet Man, not sure what that logo is supposed to be, he walked into the forest and he got a fine, and the fine was very large, and so that made headlines in the US being like, Canada, the communist hellscape dystopia, apparently is getting guys like this arrested and fined for trying to what was his crime? Walking in the forest, having a succulent Chinese meal, I say. What the hell? One topic. Good to see you. They don't see anyone left to stop random fires, rescue anyone else. There's no infrastructure left to manage anything that goes wrong, so let's ensure nothing goes wrong together. Shouldn't be hard for these people. You would think, because really this story comes down to, don't be a dick. That's it. I love camping. I love forests. I love going into forests and camping. I love running through the forest, through the trees. It's a magical experience, all right? They're beautiful. But right now, again, so many parts of the country are on fire. If there was suddenly a notification that was like, hey, we would prefer, or we would ask if no one enters this part of the forest, because even if you might be 100%, you're just a good, you know, Canadian or American, you're not looking to start any fires, you're not a bad person, you're basically just you want to get in there, you want to see nature and then leave. That's wonderful, but things can happen. You know, your sunglasses could fall off your face. You could think you put a cigarette out, but you didn't fully put it out. You could start yourself a little illegal campfire, and then you start the fire, and then in the middle of the fire, you're like, yeah, I guess we did put it out, right? We poured water on it. We did. I think it's out, but I mean, it's not fully out. Little things like that, right?
Hey everybody, Jeff Eve here, and as you can clearly see, this is not the woods. This is a campground in Nova Scotia. I'm at the zipline exhibit right now. These things stayed open even after Tim Houston banned my sneakers from the woods in order to mitigate the risk of wildfire. And it's not lost on me that now we have to pay for things that are otherwise accessible, especially it seems things that are really good for our mental health. And you know, the young people, I think, have been the ones the most abused over the course of the last several years. I know a young guy, he volunteers with me with PPC, my political party, and
I was like, he volunteers with you? Volunteers for what? Oh, you're part of the far-right extremist party of Canada. You're one of the anti-vaxxers. Now it all makes sense. It's all coming together. I get it. That's why you're a dick. That's why you don't get this shit. Like something as simple as, hey, by the way, there's a pandemic. Everybody should wash their hands, social distance. In that way, we can slow the spread. That way, even if you are young and you probably won't die from this disease, there are older people, there are people with disabilities, there are people with comorbidities. There are lots of people in conditions where they could die from this disease, the elderly, and so maybe we shouldn't just spread it as much. Let's do some very simple things. And people got so mad. It actually became the centerpiece of an entire political party, the PPC, where they're anti-vax, they don't believe in lockdowns, they don't believe in social distancing. I would posit they don't even believe in washing their hands.
You know, he had a whole trip planned with his buddies to go out into the woods back country, because you can do that for free, but they had to cancel it. So you know, it seems like these are the guys who had their childhood stolen from them during COVID.
Yeah, there it is. They had their childhood stolen from them. I mean, a lot of people had their lives. There's that as well. Also, it's like, it's so fascinating how a large percentage of the population saw something like, hey, by the way, if we all work together in doing very simple things like washing your hands properly, we can prevent a lot of people from dying. We will put less stress on a medical system that if it gets too stressed could collapse. We know this because we've seen the disaster that has happened in other parts of the world, such as Italy, for example. And so if this spreads, if more people get infected, and the more people who do get infected end up getting a percentage of them hospitalized, then eventually there's going to be more people sick than we literally have respirators to save their lives. And so why don't we all work together to try and slow the spread of something? And it's like, fuck that. What about my personal freedoms? What about what I want? I want to rub doo-doo on the walls of my local Walmart. I can't do that? That's freedom, baby. If I want to go into the Walmart and rub doo-doo over everything and everyone, I should have the freedom to do that. That's my right as a Canadian. And what's fucked up about the story is I thought it was just going to happen and then go away. It turns out in America, because the far right are in power and they are the deep state and they're involved in the secret pedophile cabal that you had always heard of, you know, the Jeffrey Epstein one. Well, that turns out to be actually Donald Trump. He's basically Jeffrey Epstein's best friend. And now he's the guy covering up the Epstein files, getting Cash Patel and Dan Bongino to do all this dirty work. I know, it's a whole thing. It's wild. The pedophiles run the country. But because of that, and because they have all the power and they control all the branches of government and they're in like total power, they're finding that there's less and less ways for them to do what they always do, which is pretend to be oppressed. In the US, it's harder now to keep being like, oh, it's so hard to be MAGA. It's you have no idea how hard my life is. All right, I go outside and I wear a red hat and I get discriminated against. Yeah, I would say that right now white Christians are the most persecuted group in the world, even more than gamers. I know, controversial, a very controversial statement, but right now, if you are a white Christian male and you're straight, you are the most persecuted group in the world. And if you happen to put on your MAGA hat, oh, forget about it. You do not know the level of racism and bigotry that will be directed towards you. They have it the hardest, okay? So everyone should be a lot more nice, a lot more kind, and accept this, all right? Every single person who's listening right now, if you happen to be Indigenous or an American, Native American, you happen to be Black, you happen to be Latino or something, please check your privilege. Check your privilege and understand the advantages you have over straight white men. Straight white men have it the worst right now, so accept that. That's really hard to keep doing when you run the show, right? So for the Charlie Kirks and the Steven Crowders and the Tim Pools and all these right-wingers who just talk about how oppressed they are all the time, you're winning. You run everything. You are the deep state. You have become the deep state. I'm sorry, Alex Jones, you are a spokesperson for the deep state. You became everything you ever warned everybody about, but now that's you. So it turns out right-wingers are now talking about Canada a lot. So much so that the founder of Project Veritas, Mr. James O'Keefe, traveled to Nova Scotia forests to see the level of oppression that a communist hellscape can bring you.
On purpose for a $25,000 fine. There it is right there. Stay out of the woods. $25,000 fine. Oh, there's a DSLR worker. There's a worker right there. What happens if we go in there? $3,000 fine. We don't have anything to start a fire though.
Doesn't matter. You want to break the law, I'll
Hey, I just want to quickly get ahead of this. For anyone who's like, that seems like a lot of money, though. Yeah. Do you understand the level of devastation right now that the forest fires, the billions upon billions of dollars of destruction that they are costing the country of Canada? It's really hard when you have a large percentage of people who live in an area, say like 40 million, for example, and all of a sudden you have forest fires that rage out of control. When those forest fires rage out of control, you try to reduce the amount of probability that you can start forest fires. So that includes having to, unfortunately, ban the public from entering certain areas. In the same way during the pandemic, it's the same crowd, by the way, the same overlap is going on here. The same people who said the pandemic was the same thing as apartheid, there was a separate system of rules. Apparently, the people who were like unvaccinated were treated poorly and all this kind of stuff. You're all dicks. You realize you're all assholes, all right? You are selfish little fucking pieces of shit, all of you. And that's the thing. And you want to be selfish, but you want it all. You want to be selfish, and then you also want to be able to rub doo-doo on the walls. And everyone else is like, I'm sorry, you can't have it all right? You get a choice. You can be anti-science. You can. You have a right. You have a right. You can be anti-science. You can be like, I don't want science. Fuck science. Fine. You get the freedom to do that. But you don't get the freedom to do that and rub doo-doo on the walls. You can't have both, all right? So if you want to go out and you want to go to the restaurants and you want to go to these different places, well, guess what? Because there is a deadly pandemic, the people who are vaccinated who decided to go through with that procedure and didn't die, didn't turn into goo, turns out those were all lies, didn't get radioactive or magnetic powers, they're going to be the ones who are allowed to enter these areas for now. Because again, there is going to be less risk by them doing that. They are vaccinated. And if you're like, you don't want to be vaccinated, you have the freedom to do that, but you don't have the freedom to go to this Nickelback concert. Or I'm sorry, that's unfair to Nickelback fans. There's probably some decent ones. Theory of a Dead Man concert. You're not allowed to go to, sorry. There's probably good Theory of a Dead Man fans. Creed concert, all right? You're not allowed to go see Creed. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to watch it at home on the YouTubes or sing the songs, you know, under my cellmate, whoever it is, whatever your band of choice is or song of choice, but you can't do that right now, okay?
So here in Nova Scotia, they've actually banned hiking due to a burn ban. They're gonna fine you $25,000. We're going hiking in Canada. Let's see what happens. There's also a bunch of Karens walking along the boardwalk. A lot of snitches. Snitches get stitches.
You're the Karen in this scenario, my friend. You're the one going to a foreign country and being like, I'm gonna break the laws. What are you, Johnny Somali? Are you just James O'Keefe traveling to other countries just being like, ha, let's see you ban me.
I saw these two gentlemen. They're gone in the woods. They have backpacks.
Okay, I'll send the officers out here shortly. Thanks for calling.
All right, thank you.
Cape Breton Regional Police, just arrived.
Nickelback is against the genocide? No way! I had no idea. They're pro-Palestine? I sincerely apologize for that bit, Nickelback. I did not know what you were all about, and I was wrong. You know, I only know the memes. I apologize. I'll take all of that back. You should have gone with Logan Paul. Does Logan Paul... Oh, he did make music. That's right. He has that Disney Channel flow. All right. Yeah, okay. So Logan Paul. You want to hit there? You know, just edit it out so that at that time when I was like, I know, you want to go hit up a Nickelback concert, just replace the words. So it's like, I know, you want to go hit up a Logan Paul concert. Yeah, and they're done, you know. Disturbed was right there, but at least Disturbed has like one good song, and it's the only song I know of, but I mean, that song it's fun.
So we've arrived in Nova Scotia, Canada, and we're driving down the highway, and it says stay out of the woods. And then it says it's a burn ban, $25,000 fine. If you go into the woods, we are going into the woods. So the man, Jeff, actually did this, and I thought about doing this, but then I saw Jeff's story, and I figured, hey, I should do that.
Issued $25,000 fines for going.
This is fucked, by the way. Just, you know, memes aside and all the silliness aside, and, you know, James O'Keefe deciding, hey, by the way, I guess, like, he's just not oppressed enough in America, so he has to travel to Canada. Project Veritas has to do its whole fucking shit over here. There's a reason these bans were in place. And what's sadder now is those bans are no longer in place, so he's not actually violating laws. He's just doing this as a bit. But, like, it does make sense, right? You understand that while the majority of people are not trying to start forest fires, the risk and the percentage of the potential for forest fires to start will increase dramatically the more there are more people in those areas. So while they are doing a blanket ban, I get it's inconvenient, it sucks, everyone wants to go into the woods, I do too. This is not the same as oppression. These are measures being done to try and help and protect the public. You're all dicks. I fucking hate this shit.
In the woods. I'm just gonna make this as painless as I can for those guys.
And the fine is $20,872.50.
We'll see whether the local authorities enforce this absurd law, which is a violation of human rights and human dignity. We have no fire starters on us. Nothing can start a fire. I do have my trekking poles, my backpacks, and my hidden cameras. unless they arrest me, which we're in Canada, so it's certainly possible. But we're here in the woods. It's a very overcast day. It's going to rain. So the question is, are they going to give us a $25,000 ticket while it's raining?
Back in May, when Trump threatened Canada's sovereignty, Nickelback toured with Kid Rock to do a patriotic tour in the States. What? Oh man, I'm getting whiplash. All right, on one end you're saying that Nickelback apparently supports Palestinian emancipation. The next second he's touring the U.S. with Kid Rock for a fucking patriotism tour. Do they have to add like every other song that they're Canadian? You know, bless the flag, the stars and stripes. We're Canadian. Stars and stripes. We're Canadian.
Okay, so we've been in the woods for about 5 minutes, and there's a good chance that someone's going to snitch on us. No, there's actually a snitch line where Canadians rat on other Canadians if they see hikers. Apparently, somebody snitched on us.
I just have a little concern. Is this the number that you call if people are like hiking or?
You know what's funny is that, okay, so here's a couple things going on. Project Veritas and James O'Keefe, they're notorious for falsifying and basically, he's a theater kid, if you didn't know. He wanted to play and DJ at Coachella. He was blowing tons and tons of money of Project Veritas. In a lot of ways, he is an Antifa super soldier because he was taking all this money that was supposed to be used for this big right-wing sting operation, and he was actually just like blowing it all on his fantasies and his dreams. He actually ended up making a musical of his entire own life, and he wanted to perform that and go on tour. He had their first show, I think, booked at a place in Vegas. Somebody, not me, but somebody unfortunately ruined that for him by calling the venue and asking if they knew who James O'Keefe from Project Veritas was. At the time, they said they didn't. I don't know who that was, but someone did that. And then, unfortunately, that place ended up canceling the show, and so like a lot of his dreams got shattered. I don't know if that was kind of the beginning of the whole downfall. I have no idea who did that, by the way. That was really fucked up that happened. But anyways, if you watch a lot of his videos, in the Project Veritas videos, you can hear and sometimes see things that later on are revealed to be completely fabricated, as in he hires actors very often. He makes the narrative. He gets people to pretend to be like, all right, we have exclusive footage now of someone who used to work for apparently Pfizer. That same person right now is apparently, yes, I can confirm this. They are ejaculating in a mailbox, and they are saying they are sending the vaccinated sperm into the ether. He's trying to poison us all, folks. I have footage of this. And just, you know, turns out that was an actor that they had hired to basically just hump a mailbox for a couple minutes. Or, you know, they do this thing, they catfish. They love catfishing. They'll basically just go out for dates with people. It doesn't matter what position that person can have within a company, as long as they're like tangentially associated with it somehow. So it's like, hey, by the way, you know, I work as a, you know, let's just say quality assurance manager for a facility that helps do fulfillment center requests for someone who makes orders at CNN. And I'm like, okay, so you work for CNN? No, I'm like 3 companies removed. But basically what I do is our fulfillment center fulfills the orders that can come in through online orders that go into CNN. And so we sometimes, yes, we'll see a representative or two, but no, I don't work for them at all. Actually, it's a completely separate company. Okay, all right, so let's go on like 2 or 3 dates. I get you drunk, and then in the middle of the interview, that person starts to just talk a lot. And then that, you know, the person that they think they're on a date. They think they're like flirting with somebody, and they think they may even, you know, potentially, if things go well, possibly have some action. So in the middle of the catfishing operation, they'll try to get them to reveal things, and then after a lot of drinks, the people might be like, yeah, totally, so you know how I said I didn't work for, you know, CNN directly? Well, I'm actually kind of like the vice president. That's right, you totally are. That's what gets me off, baby. I'm so fucking excited about this right now. Yeah, totally. So tell me about how CNN hit up the entire Fauci ordeal. Why don't you tell me that? That'll really get me off. Totally, yeah. So when I was working for CNN as the vice president, we basically covered up the whole Fauci story, and we had to cover up the whole myocarditis thing, and also you know, and then he publishes the whole thing, and then all the right wingers just take it, it's slop, but it's their favorite slop, and then they're like, oh my god, breaking news, like the vice president of CNN just admitted that they covered up the entire COVID vaccine. The reason I tell all of you this is not only to you know, if you didn't know the background to Project Veritas, have some fun, go enjoy watching that trash. It's actually quite hilarious. Is that I don't think this phone call, I'm just gonna throw this out there, is real. Because A, I don't know how James O'Keefe, even though he is one of the most prestigious and, you know, accomplished and intelligent journalists of the modern age, I don't know how he would have gotten his hands on a phone call sent into the government of Canada if he A, wasn't on the other end of that phone call in some capacity, right? Like, okay, hold up your phone and call in the snitch line right now, and then we'll record you calling the snitch line. There, that's a really easy way to get your hands on the call. Or you just make it up entirely. You can do that as well, right? Who's ever gonna check? It's not like any American who's watching James O'Keefe or loves Project Veritas is gonna be like, I should do my due diligence though. I should cross-reference this with something. I should call maybe the government of Canada and ask them if they got a phone call that was related to a James O'Keefe and if the person had said this, something like that, you know, on some capacity. Not within the turnaround time needed to make this video at the very least. It's just like there's no way he got access to the Government of Canada official phone call registry. That I do not believe that for a second. It's much more likely. Like Occam's razor, this whole situation, they made this call. Got your back, girl. Thank you for supporting the stream. Love the stream. Said I gotta run out to an MD appointment. Hey, enjoy your MD appointment. I hope it goes well.
Like in the woods, then they're not supposed to be?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm at Petersfield in Westmount, and I saw these two gentlemen. They're gone in the woods. They have backpacks. They have these poles, like the trekking poles, I believe they're called.
I feel like we're smuggling contraband into Canada.
The one guy, he's tall, probably about 6'2". He's wearing like some bluish gray pants, navy blue long sleeve. It's just ridiculous. Like clearly they're not supposed to be in there. Like
Yeah, no, I guess it doesn't get that rain. Any vehicles or anything do you know?
I don't know. I like saw them walking in there and they had like backpacks and stuff. So
Yeah.
so.
Okay, I'll send the officers out here shortly. Thanks for calling.
All right, thank you.
Cape Breton Regional Police just arrived.
They apparently haven't banned.
That is how Canadian accents sound. We do sound like that then, Ari. Yeah, no, Duda Buddha, that's how we speak. So she's totally right then, buddy. She knew, she was definitely a hoser, and I can tell.
Bird houses here. Like, are they a burn hazard? Oh wait, we have an update. Yes. Jeff.
The cops just left.
He just left. The cop just left?
Whoa.
Yeah, they left. This is how much they care about our woods, James.
This is how. So they've abandoned mission.
Yeah.
So they call the cops. The cops come, and
Was the woman on the other end of that the woman who called?
and apparently the cops walked in a little bit, kind of gave up, and left 10 minutes later. So we were expecting to get fined $25,000.
They called the cops on themselves.
There has been no fine, but there are some Department of Natural Resources people.
Amazing. How expensive was this? How many tens of thousands of dollars did this video cost, you know? Boy, if you look at the expenses that James O'Keefe racks up, like, damn, I am in the wrong line of work. I gotta tell you that, you know? The occasional sub every now and then is very nice, and thank you for funding the show, but I gotta start doing this right-wing grift.
Walking along this path and see what else happens. What is the difference between these woods and the woods back there? Don't know. Couldn't tell you. We're almost out of here, but we're not out of the woods yet.
Lol.
There's some the routes are blocked off. You'll see the tape across it.
But we can be here on
Yes,
this
you can
path.
be here on this trail.
What's the difference between this trail and that trail?
That's a good question.
Do you know if they're snitching on people?
Don't know that either.
They're calling the police and stuff like that.
Are they?
I heard
Wow.
about that.
Oh, I
Tell her
never did that.
snitches get stitches.
Again, this is just as dense as the other. Oh, there's a DSI worker. There's a worker right there. There's a worker right there. Hey there. Do you know where the bands are for hiking? We're not allowed to go in there. What happens if we go in there? $25,000. That's a lot of money. What's the reason? Fires? We don't have anything to start a fire though.
Doesn't matter. You want to break the law? Talk to Trump.
Talk to Trump about breaking the law. Not a, yeah, he's a lawbreaker, right? All right, have a good day. Definitely not a fan of Donald Trump up here in Nova Scotia, Canada. Trump didn't shut down the forest. There's our car. We only have about 200 yards left to go. Get the fuck out of here.
The OG $25,000 woodsman coming soon on My Price Is My Life. Okay. I think you think you're a little too serious. O'Keefe Media Group. Oh yeah, he got kicked. So sorry, this is not Project Veritas anymore. He got kicked out of Project Veritas. He wasted too much of their money trying to DJ Coachella and produce his musical numbers. And oh, I completely forgot about like the poop deck shit and like all that other stuff too. Apparently, it was a terrible, horrifying workplace filled with like abuse, potential alleged sexual abuse, providing vast amounts of drugs to his staff, as well as that he was on drugs consistently. They were trying to, you know, what is it? Have these like Molly poo orgies where everyone was on so much drugs on a boat they were all shitting themselves on the deck and stuff like that. Really weird stuff. But now instead of Project Veritas, he has, oh my god, OMG, the O'Keefe Media Group, and you can actually join the O'Keefe Academy. Is that where I pay you money for you to teach me how to be like you? O'KeefeMediaGroup.com, O'Keefe Academy. I was right. Wow, what a surprise. Every single one of them has one of these. Citizen Journalism Masterclass. Join the mission and uncover malfeasance in your town. Learn the journalism fundamentals to get the story. The masterclass gave me the education I needed to expose the garbage the corrupt school officials are forcing in or on my children. OMG.
Hello everyone, James O'Keefe, O'Keefe Media Group. Behind me, you see the battle map, the action map, the list of all of the thousands of citizen journalists that are signing up at O'KeefeMediaGroup.com.
Why did you use the same icon that's used to track pedophiles? Could have picked a different one. And that's the same icon that's used for child predators. That's unfortunate.
We have 10,000 people signing up all across the country, all interested in helping expose corruption, abuse, lies hidden from public view. OMG is hosting a series of masterclasses on law. You're recording people. You need to know what the law is. Technology. We're going to teach you how to use these things.
James, how do I use a phone? I've got you. We've got you covered. We'll show you how to dial a number, push buttons, you name it. This is advanced spy software. We have a smartwatch. Do you know what that is? No, it's like a watch, but it's smart. Oh my God! That's the name of the company.
Ethics. What is right and wrong? What is...
My favorite thing about all these, because, you know, Jordan Peterson has one of these, Sneeko has one of these, all the right-wing fucking grifters have their own fucking super masterclass ripoff. But every single one of them, it's like, so after I'm done all this, I'm going to find out how much I have to spend to be a part of this. After I spend, actually, you know, when do we get there right now? Just want to make sure it doesn't have some autofill. $497. This one's on the cheaper end. Okay. $497, unless you have a coupon. But if you want to take his online course, it's $500 US. So, I mean, if you're a Canadian watching this, you might have to spend, you know, closer to $700. But either way, you spend that money, you get the masterclass. And then the question becomes, and do you get accredited in any way? Like, can you take this and then say, like, oh, I went to journalism school. Oh, you did? Which one? The OMG Academy? What's the OMG Academy? Oh, that's the Citizen Journalism Masterclass from the O'Keefe Network Empire. The guy who used to be with Project Veritas, and then he was kicked out of his own company in disgrace for, again, wasting all of their money on his own vanity projects. But, yep, they'll teach you ethics, legal, stories, tradecraft, technology, American muckraker. Cool stuff. Well, long story short, you should probably stay out of the forest. That's all I gotta say about that.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This video wouldn't be at all possible without the financial support of all the people whose names you see on the screen right now. And if you want to unlock secret bonus episodes, content that we can't post anywhere else, or get the videos early before anyone else gets to see them, please go on to patreon.com/theserfs. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. Our executive producers are Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Garrett Sandoval, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Boehm, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Tigwick, Trav, and Words Greenwood. And also, it wouldn't be possible without all the names you see on the screen right now. Again, if you want to help produce this content, it's only made possible through the funding of our patrons